On our YouTube channel, an actress took umbrage against the concept that there's no such thing as talent. And it seems to be this never-ending argument. It just seems to be the one thing that triggers almost everybody. Everybody gets down to the, yeah, but, and they can't handle the concept of the removal of talent. It comes from the arrogant, insecure ecosystem that we need both to believe in ourselves and also give ourselves a reason to check out and fail. So the concept of talent is, to me, so anathema to the idea of progress as an artist and an actor. Her point is that there are good actors and there are bad actors, and some have talent and some don't. And then if you have two actors doing the same scene, one could be good, one could be bad, and therefore one's talented and one isn't. And so I need to backtrack from that and unpackage all of that statement, because as you all know, there's no such thing as good acting and bad acting. There's acting and there's non-acting. Ilse van Niekerk in South Africa, when she acts, that's acting. She's so good that there's acting. Oh, I just said good. There's acting and there's non-acting. She's good at what she does, which means she does what she does correctly. The idea that there's good and bad acting and we give awards on the gradation of acting makes acting into a competitive sport or something that's comparative, which is completely impossible, because acting is the art form of life. Like, it's life. So it is or it ain't. There's nothing in between. However, the scene as filtered through Ilse versus that's the same scene through Robin have a very, very different feel and look, even if they're both doing the scene correctly. And I subjectively can be more responsive to Robin's take on it, or I artistically feel more akin to Ilse's take on it, because I understand Ilse's instrument more than Robin's, or Robin's more than Ilse's, but they're both legitimate. The example I used last night is you take a piece of music, Yesterday by Paul McCartney, and you take that and you hand it to Eddie Vedder and Lady Gaga, and you say, do Paul McCartney's Yesterday. Don't change the notes, don't change the lyrics, do Paul McCartney's Yesterday. Those are going to be very different versions of Yesterday, but they'll both be Yesterday, and they'll both be music, and they'll both be correct, right? And it's not because they're both talented, it's because they're both incredibly skilled musicians. I could also take Yesterday and give it to a bunch of people who don't know how to do music, and it will be butchered, and the chords will be wrong, and they'll sing the lyrics wrong, or they won't even get the melody, and because they're not musicians. So the idea that, like, yes, you take two people, one's good, one's bad, is incorrect. If you take two skilled tacticians, they're both going to do great versions of it, and then we're going to be able to decide which one artistically touches me more. Yeah, it has nothing to do with talent. The reason why we have, you all know this, but the reason why we create the concept of talent is to feel bad about ourselves. So, for example, on Saturday night, this actress did Outside Mullingar at the Shanley benefit. The actress was exceptionally good, and a whole bunch of people were telling me how talented she is. It happens to be that the actress is my wife, so I'd like to tell you to please, please go yourself when it comes to calling my wife talented, because that is so intensely offensive. By calling her talented, you've removed piles of things. One is the insane amount of work she put in. Like, the last 3 weeks has been nothing but an Irish accent in our house, and she's been carrying the sides for the scene in her hand everywhere she goes. And she's in the car, she's worked with Shanks. Like, they all look like they were tossing it off. Hey, Grant Gustin just tossing off Moonstruck, but he's, you know, contacted me to ask me all about, like, the play and the thing and the scene. He was freaking out, and he analyzed it, and he was off book, and clearly the man put a lot of work in. But I can attest to Michelle Harrison, she put in so much work, and she's also been doing it for 24, 25 years. And she was doing stage when she was 14, 15. She went to Circle in the Square when she was in New York. She's been on the stage, what, 40, 50 times. And she's also done 110 television series and movies. So, you know, calling her talented is so intensely insulting. It denigrates and removes all the input and the hard work that she's done. And the concept of talent, the reason why we say talent, this is from my actress, young actress who posted on YouTube, is so that you can feel bad about yourself. Because if you go, oh, Michelle Harrison's so talented, I'll never be like that, or Meryl Streep's so talented, I'll never be like that, or I don't know, name somebody you love. Jake Gyllenhaal's so talented, I'll never be like that. You're giving yourself an out, and everybody's looking for the exit door. Everybody's always looking for the exit door. If I can just get out of here and feel shitty about myself and go work at Starbucks and go, it was never in the cards because genetically I was never predisposed towards acting, then it gives you your out, which is so incredibly human and stupid, which is, synonymous. I couldn't believe that you hadn't heard the story, neither. A long time ago, this auditor was there. She was auditing, and I was at the back of the class watching actors act. And she says to me, what do you do with the ones that just don't have it? And I had that response, like, and this is Matthew 15 years ago. So you know what my response is? Shame. I'm like, am I lying to the actors? Should I be Meisner and be like, you suck, just get off? Like, and I'm like, and then I'm like, wait, let me just, let me address your question later. I need to pay attention to my actors here. And then we had the class, and then I turned and I said, okay, I need to discuss something with the auditor. What I said was, okay, so you said, what do you do with the ones that don't have it, or they don't have the gift? I go, I'm assuming the reason why you say that is because you think you have it. I don't think you would ask that question if you don't think you have it. So do you have it? And she said, yes, I have it. And I go, okay, so that's an intensely arrogant position. And she goes, but you have it. I'm watching you act, and you teach, and you have it. And I went, right. As the child of a schizophrenic whose father was in jail, who spent most of his teenagehood depressed, who found alcohol and pornography as a means of out, who has beaten himself down, then rose himself up, went to New York City to study, has been on stages, been on television, married a woman who's an actress, and has been doing nothing but building myself up. The idea that I have it is profoundly insulting. I earned it. I wasn't born into it. So I go, the point of I have it or they don't have it is an arrogant point of view, which causes you to be standing above other people. The only person who needs to stand over somebody else and feel like they're above is somebody who naturally feels below. So the concept of you have it is because you both think you have it and also you're afraid you don't. And I said, the whole concept of having it is irrelevant. Don't worry about having it or not having it. Go do it. Like, go figure it out and do it.